We will waive formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty as to all charges.
That's Laura Owens back in front of a judge with a new lawyer and now a new date for her fraud and perjury trial. I'll take a look at what's next in her case. Plus, I'm going to show you a little bit of her TED Talk from back in 2022.
My name is Laura Owens, and as you can tell, I wasn't the hero in this story.
I'm Angenette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. You know, there's a reason that Morgan & Morgan is America's largest personal injury law firm. It's because the firm wins a lot. It has more than 1,000 lawyers who have recovered $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. In the last few months alone, a client in Florida received $12 million when the insurance company offered just $350,000. In Pennsylvania, another client was awarded $26 million. That was 40 times the insurer's offer. Morgan & Morgan makes it really easy to fight for what you deserve. You can even start a claim from your phone. So if you're ever injured, you can start a claim at forthepeople.com/crimefix. Click the link below or scan that QR code that you see right there on your screen. Laura Owens was back in court in Maricopa County, Arizona, to enter a plea to new charges related to allegations that she faked pregnancies with two men in Arizona, lied about it under oath, and tampered with evidence. Now, one of those men is a former reality TV show contestant. His name is Clayton Echard. He was on The Bachelor. He was over the moon when Owens was indicted in his case earlier this year.
Justice is finally served. I am absolutely amped to share this news with you all. That today, as of I think 20 minutes ago, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell has announced the indictment of Laura Michelle Owens on felony charges related to the paternity scheme. 1 count of fraudulent schemes, a class 2 felony, 1 count of forgery, a class 4 felony, 4 counts of perjury, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence, a class 6 felony. This nightmare is over. I am so ready to not have to think about this anymore.
But now Owens is facing even more felony charges involving a second man named Greg Gillespie. Owens has been through a civil trial in which she maintained she had become pregnant with Clayton Echard's baby, but a judge determined it was a lie. A judge actually referred her case to the county attorney's office for prosecution.
You know what? It's not even 7 o'clock. I have done nothing except get pregnant by the Bachelor.
Okay, you can talk.
Okay? It's not like I've gone and killed somebody.
Laura, and you can talk with the county detectives about that.
That was Laura Owens in January of this year when police in Scottsdale executed a search warrant at the home where she lives with her parents. Owens is accused of a number of crimes, including fraudulent schemes and artifices, forgery, perjury, and tampering with evidence. The indictment claims that Owens lied under oath in March of 2024 when she said, "That's me showing my pregnant stomach," when referring to a video of her with an apparent pregnant stomach. Owens is also accused of lying at the same time when she said, "That's a video clip of father touching pregnant belly." She's also accused of lying when she claimed she did not send an ultrasound to victim Greg Gillespie. Here's a text message that Laura Owens wrote to Gillespie that includes an ultrasound picture. "Looks like you're going to be a dad to 1 or 2 babies. Was sick enough to go to the clinic this afternoon and had to get an ultrasound to make sure I wasn't having an ectopic pregnancy. I wasn't. I found out that I've been pregnant with twins. Looks like one of them passed or isn't doing well, probably because of the medicine I took. I had the option of a surgical abortion and elected not to. If I'm going through this on my own, I will let God decide if he wants both, one or none to be born. And the kids would deserve to know their father's side of the family." Now, that was just part of the text message exchange. Owens is accused of using another woman's ultrasound and passing it off as her own in court. So Owens, as I mentioned earlier, she was back in court this week. Here's what happened.
So on the older case, we're here for a status conference as Mr. Swirsky was appointed to represent Ms. Owens. There has been a supervening indictment filed. I provided a copy to Mr. Swirsky. Mr. Swirsky, did you have the opportunity to review that with your client?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you want me to conduct a not guilty arraignment today on her behalf?
Would. Your Honor.
All right. Do you waive a reading of the charges and her rights?
We will waive formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty as to all charges.
All right. We'll enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
So Laura Owens has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges.
I need to set release conditions in that the newer case. Is the defense requesting the same release conditions that are
Yes,
in
Your Honor.
the...
First matter was OR, and I believe that this is just expanded a little bit, but nothing changed as far as anything that would warrant a change in the release.
All right. State have anything to contribute on that issue?
No.
All right, it is OR release, so in the new matter, that I will release her in her own recognizance under the same terms and conditions as the 006831. As far as the new dates in that matter, there's going to be an initial pretrial conference on January 21st at 8:15 before Commissioner Popko, a comprehensive pretrial conference February 25th at 9 o'clock before me, final trial management conference April 16th at 9 o'clock before me, then trial assignment April 23rd at 9 o'clock before the trial assignment judge. That judge is located on the 5th floor of this building, courtroom 5B. Ms. Owens, you need to make all those court appearances. If you were to fail to appear, warrant would issue for your arrest. If you don't show up for your trial, it could occur in your absence. Stay in touch with your lawyer. Make sure he has a good cell phone number for you at all times. New last day in the new matter will be May 31st, 2026.
Trial date would be July 29th at 9 a.m. and the appearance would be July 22nd at 9 a.m.
Okay, so forget April. The trial dates will be July, or the final trial management conference, July 22nd at 9, trial assignment July 29th at 9. The initial pretrial conference and CPTC dates will remain the same.
And Laura Owens' trial date in the Clayton Echard matter, it was scheduled to begin in January of 2026. Now that's not happening with the new charges, and she has a new lawyer who has a lot of evidence to look through.
Mr. Swirsky, since I have you here, have you received disclosure?
Yes, in the last week, I have received approximately 6,000 pages of disclosure and 16 body cam recordings, all within like the last week from the state.
All right, so the state's been responsive to your needs in that area?
Very much so.
All right.
So Laura Owens, she's going to be back in court in February. She is the daughter, of course, of San Francisco talk radio legend Ron Owens. He was seen in body-worn camera footage of officers executing a search warrant at their home earlier this year.
You want to sit there or here? Okay.
This footage becomes public record with my father on it. They're just,
Please have
the group that is harassing me is going
Ma'am, he wants to sit there.
But he
He's a-
never
he's a-
sits there.
He doesn't. You don't get it. My dad's had Parkinson's for 23 years. You guys don't understand.
I just asked if he wanted to sit in there, and he said
He
no.
can't sit in that
Honey,
chair.
You really can't sit in that one, honey.
That one he can't use because it's on rollers.
Your mom just said to use it,
The
Laura.
black chair. The black chair. The black chair.
Ronnie, just sit in the chair you normally sit in, sweetie.
Just sit in the black chair. Just sit in the black chair. He can't, but he'll roll in that one.
That's where he sits, sweetie.
So this one or okay, I'll hold it for him.
It needs to be pushed back to this right here. It needs to be pushed there for him to sit down.
Have you called David?
They took my phone.
What?
They took my phone.
They took your phone. Well, here's your phone.
No, they're gonna take your
Here,
phone.
let's get you seated
They're gonna
first.
take your
Let's
phone.
get you seated.
I want to see the warrant that says they can have my phone.
On Thanksgiving morning, a message posted to Ron Owens' personal Facebook page. It reads, "This Thanksgiving, I want to say how deeply grateful I am for everyone who has supported me over the years. And now, at 80 years old, this has been the roughest year of my life. Bankruptcy, serious health issues, a SWAT raid at my home, a devastating online smear campaign against our family, and legal charges against my daughter that greatly mischaracterize who she is and what she stands for. We are currently fighting to stave off foreclosure on our home, and the GoFundMe account set up on my behalf nearly a year ago remains active. There's a link below if you'd like to contribute or share it. Thank you for keeping me and my family in your thoughts this Thanksgiving. Your kindness has truly been a blessing. I hope you and your loved ones have much to be thankful for today." Now, as you heard, Ron Owens has declared bankruptcy, and a GoFundMe for him has now raised more than $130,000. Laura is being represented by a public defender now. The GoFundMe message states, for nearly 5 decades, Ron Owens was the voice that guided, entertained, and inspired countless listeners on KGO 810. Today, the iconic call letters will be retired. As they fade into history, it marks the end of an era. But Ron's legacy continues to resonate deeply in the hearts of those who tuned in day after day for his wit, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to thought-provoking conversation. Today, Ron is facing profound challenges. After living with Parkinson's disease for 23 years, his health battles have intensified. He has courageously faced not only Parkinson's, but also 4 bouts with cancer, most recently colon cancer and serious heart issues. These medical struggles have taken a toll both physically and financially on the man who has been a pillar of strength for so many. If Ron's voice has ever brought you comfort, sparked a meaningful conversation, or simply made you smile, now is the time to show your love and gratitude. This GoFundMe is an opportunity for us to give back to the man who gave us 48 incredible years of radio excellence. Every donation, no matter the size, will help Ron and his family navigate this difficult time. Laura Owens and her mom, Jan Black, they also host a podcast entitled Nobody Told Me. But back in 2022, Laura Owens actually hosted a TED Talk and told a story about being a victim of domestic violence.
My name is Laura Owens, and as you can tell, I wasn't the hero in this story. I was the crying woman in seat 22H.
Owens then detailed being physically assaulted while she was on a trip to Iceland.
We'd had a fairy tale start, and then it came down fast. It seemed like overnight, his charm and compliments turned to criticism. His comments became more and more menacing until finally, the verbal abuse became physical. The first thing he did once we landed in Iceland and got to the hotel was ask me to pick a number. Not knowing why, I picked 40. He said that was how many times he was going to slap me. He did, and then he choked me.
I want to be very clear. No one should ever be subjected to that type of treatment. But questions have surfaced about that story, given the allegations that Owens has made about being pregnant when it was determined that she wasn't. All right, so I want to bring back an expert in this case. He is Dave Neal, the host of the Rush Hour podcast. Dave, your thoughts on the trial date being pushed back now to late July?
I got to get one of those Liquid IV sponsorships. It's going to be 110 every day. So
right.
I was dying. I wanted this thing to be in January for my own, winter getaway schedule. But yeah, it's going to be a hot one. I think they have a whole month booked for it too. I don't know if they're going to go that long, but what a waste of money this is.
Well, the state attorney, the county attorney rather, is going to be making a plea offer according to one of their filings. They're going to be making a plea offer to her. She seems to, at least with the civil case, she wasn't willing to give that up, but she is, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see whether she accepts the plea offer from the county attorney.
Yeah, look, the only way she won't accept a plea because she's never budged on any of this, and she needs to be the victim in her mind in order to tell her story, write her book. And if she takes a plea and then goes back on her word, I don't think that's going to fly. So I don't see a plea deal coming without prison time anyway. So if I'm her, you might as well go to jail and live out your story of being targeted. And I've said this all along. If she just admits to it, she could have a podcast like "Why I Faked a Pregnancy," and people would want to check that out. So I've encouraged her to just spill the truth. It's more interesting than the charades here, but it's not going to happen.
Interesting. She's got this new lawyer. The new lawyer is going to have to wade through all of the discovery in this case. So that's going to take the new lawyer some time to get up to speed on this. It's a public defender, of course. Her father on Thanksgiving appeared to come to her defense on Facebook. Ron Owens, the legendary San Francisco talk radio host, he said basically, he's having all of these health issues. He's facing this bankruptcy. There's this big GoFundMe raising more than $100,000 for him so far and counting. He does have some health problems. We saw him on the body camera footage during the SWAT raid, the execution of the search warrant earlier this year. I don't know if you really could call it a raid. I mean, they did knock on the door and say, hey, we're here to execute a search warrant. So he's saying basically his daughter is being mischaracterized here.
At least
what do you say?
His Facebook account is saying that. We don't even know. I'd love to hear him out loud say these things because I don't know if I believe it. But yeah, he's part of the victim family here.
So you're questioning whether or not Ron Owens wrote that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, here they are. They're filing for bankruptcy, and he gets a $20,000 a month pension. My guess is your audience isn't going to feel too bad for him that a person who was making $1.4 million a year, still making $20,000 a month, has to file for bankruptcy because they can't pay their bills. I'm a comedian. We're not great with money, but this is excessive to me, right? So they start a GoFundMe. They raise $130,000, guilt tripping their fan base in San Francisco. No offense to the older generation. There's a lot of boomers getting duped out of a lot of their money right now. And I think they're entitled to know, like, hey, maybe he does need your money, but it's been pretty reckless. They've run at Facebook campaigns using the GoFundMe link. That's not something Ron Owens knows how to do. His daughter, Laura Owens, knows how to, do all of that, use Meta and Google and all of the ad, abilities to spread their message. But it's just important for people to know, like, yeah, you can feel bad for this guy. It sucks he's got all these health issues, but it can't be that bad if Laura is willing to wheel him into the courthouse for sympathy.
So you think that Laura Owens is running the GoFundMe and the Facebook?
I mean, she's committing fraud in other ways. So she's admitted to it in her deposition. She committed fraud, sending me fake medical documents. I'm not saying they don't need the money. I just think that GoFundMe money doesn't have to go to medical bills. We have no idea where it's going to. It could be going to the retainer she paid for her last lawyer that left her. I mean, it makes sense now that she realizes it's not even worth paying a lawyer to defend her. So this poor lawyer, wins the Laura Owens draft lottery where now he's got to represent her. He has to look through 6,000 pages of documents. Like, good luck. Welcome to the show.
Well, it does make me question when somebody says they can't live on $20,000 a month. It makes me question what is going on.
And I don't judge anybody with whatever they want to do with their body. But when you show up to court yesterday looking like you just got lip injections and you're doing $5,000 horse racing events, save me a little. Like, go get a job at Starbucks and live and work hard like the rest of us.
Yeah, $20,000 a month. I could easily live off of that and then save some of it. Dave Neal, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
All right, so I want to bring in Dwayne Cates. He is a certified specialist in criminal law by the Arizona State Bar. Dwayne, this case is really interesting. What are your thoughts on it as a defense attorney?
Well, I mean, it's novel. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I did family law a long time ago where women would claim that it was somebody's baby, but it was somebody else's. But this is a whole new level of deceit.
Interesting.
Saying you're pregnant when you're not and trying to extort money from people.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to me that we have, at least in the state of Arizona, she's charged with doing this to two men. But there are really, 4 men. There are 2 other victims in another state. And I don't understand how one thinks, because it's already been determined by a civil case that she was fibbing. So how does one move forward with this? Because it seemed like, at least with her last attorney, they were pushing forward. They were going to go with the trial in January. The state says it will try to make a settlement offer, a plea offer. It doesn't appear that she will be willing to accept that offer. So you're a defense attorney. How do you deal with a client who possibly is like, no, I'm going through with this?
Well, everybody has the right to a trial. I mean, you have a right to make the government prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, you absolutely have that right. And so if the client wants to go to trial, we go to trial. Now, there's been a lot of times I've suggested to clients that maybe is not a really good idea and they should take the plea, and they've gone to trial anyway. And so, but the client gets to choose. It's not the attorney's decision whether or not to go to trial. It's the client's.
Most certainly it is the client's choice. Oh, apparently, there's going to be a lot of evidence in this case as it relates to electronic evidence. They may have computer evidence showing her possibly manufacturing documents and things of that nature. I mean, how do you challenge that?
Well, you hire a really good forensic, computer person, which I have several that I use all the time. I'm in a big case now where that's a lot of what we're doing is working with experts to try to find out if what they say happened on the computer actually happened.
You said this is a novel case and you haven't seen anything quite like this. This is something that you would typically see in family court, but a judge deemed it serious enough to call the county attorney and say, you need to look into this.
Yeah, and that's kind of rare too, because I mean, people perjure themselves all the time. Okay, and sometimes it's little things and sometimes it's not so little things. But it's I don't think in 28 years that I've ever represented anybody charged with perjury. I mean, it just doesn't get charged all that often. So the judge must have believed that it was egregious enough to call the county attorney.
Yeah, most certainly. It really is an interesting case, one I've certainly never seen before, and it just keeps getting more interesting as the weeks pass on. Dwayne Cates, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And as I mentioned earlier, Laura Owens will be back in court in February. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.